Today I'm going to share Dorothy's fibromyalgia story. Before I begin, I want you to know that it has a happy ending, but not before decades of struggle, pain, fear, and heartbreak. The struggle was really finding a practitioner that understood her condition. She was afraid because she thought she might one day be unable to care for herself and her family. Heartbroken because no one seemed to understand what she was going through, not even her closest friends. I really want to celebrate Dorothy's victory over fibromyalgia. I want to celebrate her tenacity, her refusal to give up, her persistence, and her willingness to think outside the box of the current modern medical approach to chronic conditions in general and fibromyalgia in particular. Like most fibromyalgia patients, Dorothy had been from doctor to doctor, been on multiple medications with a variety of different diagnoses. She was aggravated at the medical community because the only thing they seemed to do was throw more medication at her that either didn't work or made her feel worse. Not only did she have to endure depression, extreme pain, sleepless nights, fatigue, brain fog, and gastrointestinal distress, at times she was made to feel crazy by the modern medical profession. This scenario is very sad, and it's unfortunately repeated again and again in millions of women across America. As you'll soon hear from Dorothy herself, she was diagnosed with irritable bowel syndrome, depression, Raynaud's, lupus, and of course fibromyalgia. After decades of frustration and disappointment, Dorothy and her husband had a chance meeting with a functional medicine practitioner that truly changed everything. You see, in functional medicine, they don't attempt to cover the symptoms, but to discover the true cause of disease, including hidden triggers and deficiencies. The physicians form a true partnership with their patients that allow them to get to the root of the problem, as you'll soon see in Dorothy's story. After meeting this functional medicine practitioner, Dorothy had a decision to make. Was she going to continue going around the medical merry-go-round, or was she going to do something different? Having nothing to lose, she chose to do something different. This is where her story takes a turn for the better. After an intense 60-minute consultation, which included an in-depth past medical history, lifestyle evaluation, review of past medical treatment, and a functional medicine assessment form and timeline of places she had been and medications she had taken since childhood, they discussed what advanced testing would yield the greatest results in the least amount of time and moved forward. Listen to what Dorothy has to say for herself 3 months after treatment began. If you would, tell me your name.
Dorothy Brady.
Okay, Dorothy. Tell me why you came to see me. What was your diagnosis before you came in?
I had lupus, fibromyalgia, IBS, Raynaud's, and depression.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And had you been to other places before?
I'd been to other doctors,
Okay.
and they just kept giving me pills, which
Weren't helping you
No,
much.
and just making other things worse.
Okay. And then, of course, we practice functional medicine here, but we did some lab testing. Well, we talked to you. We got your
Right.
history.
Mm-hmm.
We did a thorough history. We did a timeline. We looked at things that might affect you. And then we did a metabolic assessment form, which basically was a series of questions that break down into different body organs, for instance, or systems where your symptoms are. And we decided on a course of action, starting with testing, right?
Right.
Had you ever had any of that testing done before?
No.
Okay. So during that testing, we did a stool and a saliva sample. We found yeast, right?
Right.
We found yeast overgrowth. We found bacterial dysbiosis. We found that your enzymes weren't digesting your food, which is what we talked about a minute ago.
Right.
And through the adrenal stress index, we found that you did have some adrenal fatigue and also gluten sensitivity
Yes.
and decreased secretory IgA, which is the mucosal lining of the gastrointestinal tract. So once we found that out, we set a course of action which involved diet and lifestyle changes and some pharmaceutical grade supplements. And this is, how far into the program are we? Close to 3 months?
Probably close to 3 months, I think.
Yeah. And then how are you feeling today opposed to the way you were the day you walked in here?
Oh, I'd have to say 85 to 90% better. I'm not nearly as tired. I've got more energy. Aches and pains are going away. The Raynaud's has decreased. Not having as much trouble with my stomach. I'm doing pretty good.
Okay. Now, if someone manages to watch this video that has, because this is not new for you. You didn't just get sick. No. This has been something you've dealt with for decades.
Decades, yes.
I mean, decades. So within just 3 months, we've been able, with all natural care, to turn your symptoms around to the point that you're saying, well, somewhere 80, 85, 90% better. That's pretty amazing. But if someone is watching this that's frustrated, that's been to many doctors and gotten no relief, would you recommend that they at least look into this type of treatment?
Oh, absolutely, because I have found that other doctors I went to, they never did any testing. They just, well, I think this is it, here's a pill. And we never got to the root of it. And getting to the root of it, finding out what I shouldn't be eating and not eating it, it's made all the world difference.
Yes, definitely. Well, I want to thank you for taking time to share. I know it's kind of, you're vulnerable in a sense, but you know what it's like to struggle.
Oh, yeah.
You know what it's like to fight and to feel frustrated and discouraged because answers seem to be just hard to find.
It is.
But I thank you for being vulnerable and sharing your testimony with folks. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Dorothy's story is not typical, meaning many people suffer from all the symptoms of fibromyalgia and never recover. They may go back to the same doctor again and again, but the results never change. Dorothy chose to share her story in an effort to give you hope for a brighter future. She is hoping that you might actually reach your full potential and fulfill your God-given destiny. Let's celebrate Dorothy together for her determination to get her life back, to be the mom, the spouse, and the friend she was designed to be. Thank you, Dorothy. We applaud you.